In the top left-hand side, our blue Terran player from Team Liquid. It's just showing us a good series to start off the day. We'll see how his momentum carries through. It is Clem in the top left-hand side. And in the bottom right corner, we've got ourselves the red Protoss player from Team Exxon. Seen a lot of Team Exxon yesterday, the last couple of days, some Exxon team kills. Special Geralt and Nina on the other side of this bracket. But of the Team Exxon guys that is in the championship bracket today, it is MaxPax. I always feel like MaxPax Clem is a very fun series. I always feel like I'm going to favor Clem coming into a matchup like this, but MaxPax is one of those players that has brought it to Clem throughout 2020 at least. More so than some of the other players have. So, you know, MaxPax is one of the guys that kind of stood up to him for a little while. More recently, hasn't really had much of a chance. 2-0, most recently, we were casting him in the Roddy and Wardy Cup that me and Roddy ran a couple of weeks ago. But Clem is actually on a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 match win streak. So, the one time, so this is what I think of when I think of MaxPax Clem, and there was like a few moments where MaxPax like won a map, and then he won a 2-0, and then he won 2 matches in a row because he played an insane series against Clem in a WardiTV European League event. For Clem to only get his revenge in the finals after losing to MaxPax in the group stages. So, since then, Clem's really sharpened up a bit, and in best of 5s, he's been 3-0, 3-0, 3-1, and, you know, looking pretty good. In best of 3s, though, there's been a couple of 2-1s mixed in there, so it's definitely, you know, MaxPax is being kind of mixed, you know, taking some maps. Just has to string a few maps together at once, right, to really make this work. Now, when we saw Clem and MaxPax playing the Roddy and Wardy Cup last week, that's the most recent meeting, it was a case of MaxPax was just a little bit... He put up a good fight, but Clem was just in control of the game from the very get-go, if I'm not mistaken. He really did just take control, you know, run with it, and really not give MaxPax many options at all, as the Stalker will be dodging that grenade and will come back out the front to keep that Reaper chased away. It's a Stargate opener up in the main base, obviously something that the Reaper does not get to see just yet. As that Stargate... Sorry, it's not in the main base, it's all the way in the natural. I missaw that. So Clem has actually seen the Stargate. Yeah, I was looking at it, I was like, wait a second. I looked at my minimap and I was just like, ah, I don't see it here. And I was like, but I don't see it here. I was like, oh, it's just blended in with the Nexus. So my apologies on that call. Obviously, Clem does get to see the Stargate, so actually gets a really good early scout. As he opens with a Widow Mine, we'll see if he wants to go into just the Widow Mine drop, continuing through, or if there are other intentions. He is on a fast 3cc opening. So he goes 3cc and now a starport on the way out. He'll actually use the Widow Mine to zone the Stalker out from the front, so that helps a lot, because otherwise he's actually going to be in a fair bit of trouble here. No bunker or anything. And now he's going to go into a tech lab on the factory, but I'm a little bit worried, right? 2 Stalkers to the front, the Oracle is on the way out. And Clem is, I guess he's just Reactor and Marine, so you'll probably get enough up here in the end. Just feels like he's playing a dangerous game to get going in the early few moments. That's going to be seeing another racks going down, make that 3 racks in total, as that probe going to lead the charge in. The Widow Mine's already relocated though, so Stalkers are actually going to be able to get in here. This is nice because then you don't actually lose the Widow Mine shot to the probe. We do see a couple of probes going down across the map. Well, the Reaper got one, and then these Marines obviously got the other. So, yeah, just not bad for Clem so far, as MaxPax really just trying to find a way to slot in any way he can. The best way might be to come up here and to hit a couple SCVs. There's definitely a couple he could one-shot, but the problem with that is that obviously it's very committed, because the moment you go up here, you get surrounded by these Marines. Then there's no way out for the Stalkers. And then you really are playing a very dangerous game, as the Oracle opens with a Revelation that won't really lead to anything. Even the Widow Mine was saved by the repair. So Clem, cute little micro there, making the most of all of his units, as we'll see. The Starport is now just going to fly across to its own reactor. Factory is going to move off the Tech Lab as the Cyclone's completed. And we do have Bio pouring out with Stimpack upgrade, and the rest of it all going to be continuing very soon. These Stalker's trying to save the Oracle. Will not happen. I mean, the Cyclone goes down, but Cyclone for an Oracle is a good trade. The Oracle provides much more value in map control, vision, and just you know, access of getting stuff done than what the Cyclone provides here. So I think that's okay. As we see Blink starting up, it's 4 gates in total. Of course, there's already a 3rd base down, so it's not overly aggressive until you realize that MaxPax is building now more gates, and this gateway is proxied, so there absolutely is aggression kind of planned further down the line at the moment. And Clem, he's not playing a siege tank style, he's going to be playing Widow Mine, so there's a possibility these Stalkers can kind of find a way to break through. Obviously, when you play a Widow Mine style, you don't quite have that sturdy defense you would usually have with the siege tanks. Phoenix left it up and marauded there, and the Stalkers get a few trades. The only issue for MaxPax I really see is that Blink just isn't really done yet, right? It's going to take a while until Blink is finished. Those extra Stalkers will warp in across the rocks, and we're just going to be seeing the Phoenix still moving around on this left side. Marine's going to put some damage out. A few Stalkers just gathering up together, and other units just continue to gather up too. +1 attack, +1 armor, stim, and combat shields. All of this continuing into play. As you have our +1 attack and our blink still coming up. The blink going to be finishing on the natural very shortly here. So let's sentry joining up toward the 3rd base. A few more probes going down as the Viking just shows up in the main. Has to use the Phoenix lift to kind of shut it down, but that's 5 workers killed. So Clem's already opening with pretty good damage here, in all honesty. That Viking's going to go down, and I don't know why I'm typing. Yeah, that Viking's going to go down, and now we've just got Clem starting to push through the center. I mean, the thing is, this massive gateways and Blink Stalkers never really did anything, so what could have been a much faster kind of setup into other things is instead a gateway across the map that's now being denied. The pylon will go down as well, and, well, it's pretty much a pure Stalker defense for the moment. We don't have charge. We don't even have +1, so it's a really good moment for the Terran army to get aggressive. If it wants to move forward here, I actually think it could do really good things, but Clem doesn't quite realize maybe the opportunity that he has. He's not going to go forward too aggressively. He's just going to let the Widow Mine drop go toward the bottom side and just pressure himself with these Marines and Marauders. Looks like he might try. I mean, if he gets the 4th base, that's still a good victory. I think that's something you can absolutely get here. +1 finishes for the Protoss, but still doesn't have charge, so we've got a few more seconds where Clem can really just be unengageable. And I think that's the word for it, right? Because these Zealots just can't fight without the charge. And there's no other tech on this map just yet. We're still missing the Temple Archives. We're still missing the Robo. So that tech's only just coming in now as Widow Mines get down into this mineral line, and that's 7 workers. Okay, cleans up the medevacs, and both the mines go down very quickly after, but that's a lot of workers. And now you lose 4 more, transferring to this 4th base that was setting up. Obviously, Clem just going to sit here, get a gateway, get a pylon. If MaxPax doesn't do anything about it, he now charges in. The first couple of mines will start to do their job. No armor upgrade here, so this really is a case of Zealots that will not be super powerful. It is the Stalkers on the +1 attack upgrade that will maybe bring some of the power to this army. As MaxPax chases, Clem actually left a couple of the Widow Mines behind, so they could maybe sneak into a mineral line as well. We'll keep our eyes on those, but most importantly, Clem is bringing his reinforcements down the left-hand side. MaxPax hard chased up the right, and there is nothing over here on the left as Clem shows up. He's going to clean out a couple of Zealots to begin with. And then the recall comes in. He actually didn't recall everything. A few Stalkers walking back, but Clem moves properly and makes sure that he isn't going to let stuff be picked away at by those Stalkers. He's not going to let himself be surrounded properly. He does get away, and a 60 army supply, well, not all fully army supply, but 60 supply lead in the game. Obviously looks very good for him at the moment. Everything collected together in the upper left. We will have MaxPax. I mean, the thing is, MaxPax is starting to hit tech, right? But his tech is an Archon or 2 against ghosts that are already finishing. I mean, you know, having 6 or 7 Archons here might be scary, but he's got 3 of them. It's just really not much to work with right now, as we're going to be seeing the units blinking through. The Bio Army moves down into the center. At the same time we move up this ramp, the Widow Mine gets rid of his Zealot to begin with, and Observer gets shot down. Here we go, the army coming in from the south side, and first EMP goes down, some Stalkers. I mean, Yeah, okay. There's so much bio in comparison to how much Protoss there is. It's just not even funny. I mean, you see MaxPax attempting to make a runaway, but yeah, it's there's just so much bio here. Clem could realistically, I mean, he's obviously just killed a lot, so now he definitely knows as well that going across the map is a real possibility for him. So he can bring this across the map, he can go and push, and there just isn't the numbers there for MaxPax to realistically defend. So it's looking good for Clem to perhaps pick up map number 1 of this best of 5, as he's looking to keep his championship bracket run in the winners bracket. Of course, there still is the lower bracket for either of these players if they lose out today, but obviously both would prefer to stay in the winner bracket and perhaps have an easier road to a higher finish in the OSC Championship. The counterattack is nice. 11 SCVs are going down. Clem is maxed out though, and this attack through should just not really be stopped. 2-2 against just +1 upgrades, and MaxPax is going to get overwhelmed. There's a lot of probes going down, pylons in the battery, all of this falling as the little army here from MaxPax trying to tuck itself away. These Stalkers and the Colossus trying to come back through. It's going to be GG from MaxPax, and Clem is going to pick up game number 1 of this best of 5 series. Clem gets off to...
Wait. I wanted to turn off my overlay, but instead I turned on push to talk.
Good job, mate. 10 out of 10 effort.
Who won game number 1?
Clem.
Clem. And we're here in a best of 5, isn't that right, Wardy?
It is correct.
It's correct, that's crazy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, for everyone who's not familiar with me, my name is Harstem from Wardy's audience, of course. And I'm a streamer on Twitch as well, and I try to play professionally on the side. I'm a Protoss player, floating between rank 50 and 25 on the Grandmaster ladder. And I'm here to entertain you all and try to give some of those insights that Wardy misses every now and then.
I thought you were gonna intro the players, but you just introed yourself. That's a whole new take on the on player intros.
Oh, this is not what you meant by player intros? Okay. Well, in the top left spawning as the blue Terran is going to be my teammate, Liquid Clem. And in the bottom right, it is Exxon MaxPax, the young up-and-comer. I feel like we have so many young up-and-comers now, and truly of all races. For a while, I thought it was going to be Goblin, you know, when he made his runs last year. No, wait, 2 years ago. 2019, yeah. Last year was, of course, all online. Yeah, in the DreamHack, or not the DreamHack, sorry, the Star Ladder events.
WCSs.
Yeah, was crazy. But it's MaxPax. MaxPax is the chosen one, the young Protoss blood.
It is crazy, right? Like every year we have another like young player coming up, taking your DreamHack spots. Like, must be getting scary over there, mate. Like, there's more of these guys just coming up and qualifying for DreamHack, and you know.
Yeah, I'm literally balding at this point. So soon my reign is coming to an end.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's awful. No, it's great to see though. MaxPax is great as well. Like, MaxPax actually is not only, he's funny, but I feel like he doesn't intend to be funny, but just the way that he speaks about things. Did you, for example, know that he has an internship as a farmer?
No.
No, he works at a farm where they have pigs, chicken, I believe, maybe sheep as well. I can't quite remember. He told me all about it. He really likes working on the farm as well. And he was like, he was, you know, debating with what he wanted to do, like farming or Starcraft 2. I was like, man, you're too good at Starcraft. Like, you can't be serious, you know. He plays like 3 hours a day. Is better than every pro that plays 9 hours. Like, this guy, he's insane. And if you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said I think his mechanics are lacking a little bit, and perhaps he's lacking some experience, but he plays a crap ton in online tournaments, and I think his mechanics, even going into the later stages of the mid-game, have gotten a lot better. The only thing he's truly lacking at this point is just that really late game scenario, but you don't really see that much in StarCraft 2 nowadays when TOS gets into that late game. So I think the meta currently is perfect for a player like MaxPax, where he has very scary early game. He has a lot of build orders. His unit control is extremely good. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how far he can really go. You know, is it going to be the next Rainer or Clem, or is he going to stabilize at some point?
Yeah, no, it feels like he's just got better and very quickly too, right? Is this because I feel like MaxPax was always like that cheesy guy, but all of a sudden he's like just really good at being the macro player as well and going into longer games, and he still adds sometimes the cannon rush and whatever else, but it's really nice to see him being able to kind of take more regular games to kind of later stages and really being competitive there. So I'm pretty
Right.
hopeful for him.
The thing though is that a lot of his macro games still they start with like a variation on what is considered standard, right? So even when he is playing a macro build, very often, like I wasn't really paying attention to the start here, but he walks by with an adept and a stalker, and the trade doesn't look too good if we to take a look at the units lost stat, but like these are the things that are just like semi-risky moves, like variations on standard openings basically. Now we see some units split up by MaxPax, some units in the main, some units in the natural, as Clem is about to drop 2 mines. Now Clem can do 2 things here. He can either drop 1 mine in the natural, then go to the main, or he can drop both in the main. He's gonna go for 1 in the natural, 1 in the main. There we go. This is absolutely perfect. He should unburrow that mine at least 1 more time. Blink isn't done yet. He can go 1 more time, I think, for the unburrow. Oh, actually gonna get that stalker. Yeah, that's good. And he saves the mine in the main. This is absolutely fantastic. He gets the scout off as well. That there's a bunch of stars. The only thing that's bad for Clem is that he didn't see the prism, and he didn't see the lack of a third nexus for quite a while. Like this third nexus is relatively late, and there's going to be some pressure on Clem's side of the map. Clem of course has a Hellion on the way though, so he's going to be able to spot that there's a nexus. Yep. That actually might backfire though, seeing that nexus being like, oh, this is standard.
Yeah, not realizing that there's multiple stalkers already approaching the front. His defense is okay though, right? Like the tank's quite far back. He's got the bunker on the low ground as well. So the biggest issue is that he's just stopped tank production already. He's going into a reactor on the factory, and there's the blink up. And big problem with the Romanticize, obviously the main base is just kind of a it's kind of a large space, so difficult to defend everywhere. As he loses a reactor that was building, he'll drop the auto turret down, and that will be enough for now to push this away as he chases and grabs the observer too. MaxPax will warp in a little bit more, and behind it all just that Colossus transition that we see so regularly.
Yeah, you say it might be an issue that he stops tank production, but I actually think in these situations it's better to have faster stim, combat shield, and really start at Marauder production, because with these extra tanks it's not gonna add too much, right? If this is a 4-gate blink, I'd agree with you. You'd much prefer continued tank production, but if it's 3-gate blink and you already see the Nexus being Clem, I completely don't mind the swap of the barracks onto that tech lab. Don't forget that this is just a regular follow-up for MaxPax as well. It's not like he's super invested into this, and if Stim and Combat Shield are too delayed, then oh my god, that was a poor move by MaxPax. If those are too delayed, then all of a sudden you're not going to be able to really do anything with that 3-Rex, and if you're investing in a 3-Rex opener, you kind of want to do something with it.
Another Stalker goes down the middle of the map. I mean, the Prism wants to go and be aggressive, but now it turns around because I feel like he's almost... okay, he wants to delay the 3rd CC, but I feel like he also needs to save himself back at home. There's one Colossus, but the Sentry doesn't have any force fields, so Clem might just find a way to fight this. He's also got the Raven that has energy as well. The Stalkers die for the Raven, which will not go down. Extremely low HP, but that's multiple Stalkers that just died going for it. And now you can just Matrix the Colossus and run in and win the game pretty much. I mean, Super Battery will only do so much here to kind of spy time, and now Zealots are being targeted down, and Stalkers run into trouble once again, and yes, this is obviously just turned into a little bit of a disaster very quickly for MaxPax.
Yeah, it's funny, if he gets the Raven there, I think it's going to be really difficult still for Clem to walk up that ramp, right? He only had, what, 2 Marauders in that army, and so many Marines, so a single Colossi is... But back to the game here, as the top left corner spawning as the blue Terran, we're gonna be having Clem, who's up 2-0.
Taking on the bottom right corner, Red Protoss player MaxPax, who is down 0-2.
Nice. Very, very nice. Curious to see what he's gonna do on Lightshade. Lightshade is such a tricky map. For Protoss it feels... sometimes it feels really nice, and other times it's like, meh. You have this weird rampy area in the middle between your natural and your 3rd, which can make it kind of tricky to defend your natural and your 3rd, because you don't really want to be fighting without a battery, without overcharge, you know, but you don't really want to give up that space either. So sometimes if you're caught out of position here and they walk up that ramp, the game just kind of ends in a weird way. Yep. There's also some really nasty siege positions, like near the natural, where, I don't know, it's... This map feels like an absolute minefield for Protoss, where there's just so many options that the Terran has of ways to attack. Basically, I'm not a massive fan of it myself. Not a massive fan.
Yeah, no, it's one of those ones which is, it kind of surprisingly, it doesn't look bad when you first kind of look at it, right? But then when you play it and you realize all the positions the Terrans can get to, it's like, oh, wait a second. Like, he can, like, shoot me with a tank from here, or he can do, you know, he can do me dirty from this angle. Like, what? Hello? It's disgusting, man. Terrans, pretty good.
Yeah, just pretty good. But I mean, the same kind of counts for TOS, right? If you're going to be aggressive on this map, the third base is really far away. You always take it on the low ground as the Terran, obviously. Like, you kind of go for the triangle shape, while TOS will go for the line. And with the tank on the high ground, perhaps it's okay. But it's not an easy walk. You know, it's not quite close enough. It feels like sometimes it can be kind of tricky to defend as well. This map is just a bit of a weird one in my opinion. You see MaxPax is just bumming around a bit with his probe. Might want to send it back in.
Yeah.
Interesting to see.
What would you be looking for if you rescoped?
I have no clue.
Me neither.
Because he already kind of saw what he needed, no? He saw the Marine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So if he sees the Marine, then you know the timings of the factory, and you know the timing of the starport. The only thing I can imagine is that he goes in. Wait, did he actually see the Marine?
He must have done, right? He's got like no HP on the pro.
Maybe it was the SCVs though.
Yeah, maybe. He did take some damage from the SCV fight, blocking.
Yeah, then it would make some sense. In theory, he could just patrol in the middle, see if there's Hellions coming up, but he can also patrol in front of the base. Like, there's a couple of things he can do. I bet that's what he's gonna do. If he would have known, by the way, that there was no bunker and it was Marine first, walking the Stalkers across the map can be so good. We see MaxPax here going for Stalker, Stargate.
Yeah.
Triple gate, so looks like a Twilight Council follow-up, right? This is something that Zest has been playing a lot again lately. He did it in an Ollie Molly 2 weeks ago, and pretty good success. I think he beat Beyond with it. I want to say he beat Cure with it as well, or took a map of Dream. I think it might have been Dream. It was very, very good games. He played it twice in that Ollie Molly. He played it with Nexus before Cordo against Beyond, and he proxied the Stargate. So there was some variations there. Yeah, this is going to be a Twilight Council, battery in the main for MaxPax. I kind of like that, also battery in the natural, because it can be very difficult to get good scouting info, because you have those Stalker initially. You can't really be on the other side of the map, like you can be if you open up with an Adept.
Well, Clem's gonna just about get in with these couple of Hellions, so he gets straight through into the main base, so he gets to see everything. He won't get any damage done, but obviously gets information, and just knowing there's a battery in the main as well, right, can kind of change how he's going to play with these Banshees, because now you should probably just stack 2 of them together before he goes anywhere.
Yeah, that is important info, but I'm not sure if it's worth losing the 5 SCVs, you know? Because you always got to imagine that those 2 Hellions are a replacement for a faster Cyclone, or for perhaps a mine into a Cyclone, right? These 2 Hellions there, ideally you do want to do something with them. I don't understand why Clem is... Oh wait, I do understand why he's going in with this Banshee. That battery is almost empty.
Yeah, because it's drained with the Hellions.
Yeah, still overcharged though. I don't like this call actually. I don't think this is a good call.
Especially when there's a Stargate, right? Like, it's just...
Yeah. No, this is suicide. It's gonna get 3 workers.
Oh, yeah.
Not even.
Oh, just... Yeah, but now the second Banshee is just so... like, flimsy, right? What do you really do with Banshee number 2, and then... Okay, he's gonna build another
3.
one.
Yeah, he needs to. He's gonna play mech maybe? Take gases now? I mean, I don't really see much else that he can do. I don't like mech, but... especially not if you open with Banshee against... Yeah, it's mech. Okay. He's gonna go 4 gas. Yeah. Actually playing mech, wow. What a guy. This is the worst case scenario as well, by the way, right? You're playing against someone who opens straight charge Oracle Phoenix. Like, it isn't even going to be the blink that I expected. He kind of... MaxPax kind of changed plans. Like, alright, you play like this, I'm just going to play Phoenix charge, and I think the moment Clem tries to take his third base, he's just straight up gonna die. Like, his production is going to be so freaking late. And we see MaxPax actually skipping forward, so he's gonna get a crap ton of units, gonna stay on 3 gas. Proxy a gateway probably on the other side of the map. I can't imagine a world in which Clem can hold this.
What do you think about mech and TVP? Like, do you feel like it's any good? Because I always feel like playing mech and TVP feels like you have to work like 10 times harder to win games, because even when you're in a good position, you just can't actually win.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same. It's very difficult to kill your opponent, right? You need a dedicated max push. Yeah, okay, here comes the charge, here comes the Guardian Shield. Phoenixes are going to be doing some of the heavy lifting here. One Phoenix will go down, second Phoenix does not go down. All of these tanks are going to die. And Clem, Clem is a bit of a fighter actually these days, you know? He stays in for very, very long. I'm always surprised. And he's good at comebacks as well. Like, yeah, he's good at sitting, but the comebacks with mech are so difficult, especially if you don't have a third base yet. Some cute movement here with the Banshees, I like that, right? The frontal push with the Banshees into the natural.
But he's just gonna die. There's nothing up to defend this Zealot warp in, plus the fact there's units coming across the map. There's a single siege tank. Maybe there'll be 3 by the time you fight, but then there's Phoenix to lift all of them up. It's
I feel like the Phoenix alone can basically win this game. There's like 6 anti-air units, there's 5 Phoenix and an Oracle. Like he could fly into a mineral and kill everything. I guess there's turrets, but yeah. It's just gonna lift every single tank here, bar 1. Charge, oh my, that's a terrible force loop, holy crap. That was not what you wanted to do.
Yeah, that kind of saves the tank on the ramp a little bit, and the Zealots can't really do as much. The Phoenix are gonna have to back away for the moment, as he'll need a few more units perhaps. I mean, that wasn't obviously maybe as good as it could have been, but the damage is still done, right? 14 SCVs died. MaxPax is a good worker lead. Clem cannot really move out to 3rd CC, so he's kind of still just stuck on his natural. MaxPax can bring more units in to maybe just fight this again. Maybe just need to go into the natural, but if Clem tries to move out to that 3rd, just take advantage of that open space and then maybe just charging in from a couple different angles.
Yeah, that was a terrible fight, but still a good fight, you know? This fight should have gone better, but still the decision to fight there and the actual outcome were good for MaxPax. It's just that it could have gone better had he micro-led a little bit better. That force field was not very good. He's gonna go again. I think he's gonna go from 2 sides this time. I hope he's gonna go from 2 sides. The warp in is rallied to the low ground, so probably not. Well, this mine's actually gonna be able to do quite a bit of damage.
Wow,
that's kind of bad.
Yeah, because now the Phoenix are all dropping down dead, right? There's only a couple of Phoenix remaining. There's tank's gonna fly away at this, and that's gonna be MaxPax push back. And now Clem kind of gets away with putting the 3rd CC down in position, right? So one of the more difficult things here is now kind of, you know, completed, and so maybe Clem starts to get back into this a little bit.
Yeah, that surprises me. Now there's another Zealot warping. Is gonna get a lot of the tank on the left side. Helen slightly out of position, and then that type of stuff starts to happen. Clem still a pretty decent supply though, gets another tank out. Problem for him is, oh, there's a tank in the main base actually. I wish he would place that somewhere else.
Yeah.
There's no quick warp in here though for MaxPax. Man, this was a little bit poorly executed by MaxPax. It can be kind of tricky to manage these fights, especially if you think you're really far ahead. Very often you just kind of want to finish because you're so afraid of the other guy coming back into the game, especially if you're playing against Clem. It's like, let me just finish quickly, rather than setting up like a well-executed attack. You kind of do it hastily and things start going wrong, and you go again and it goes wrong again and again. And the thing with Clem is that he almost always continues producing workers all the way throughout. So even if you kill 5-6 workers, if you're not actually producing workers yourself and you're cutting workers for such a push, yeah, a lot of the time Clem can make these comebacks, and all of a sudden Clem is up 20 supply, and I have no clue how he did it.
Yep. I mean, just a few good fights strung together in a row. MaxPax just being... At some point, you just need to... It's hard to identify, maybe, but you need to stop kind of just the consistent, like, oh, I'm going to run in, and the next reinforcements run in again. Maybe if you just wait for, like, 2 sets of weapons at once, maybe it goes a bit differently. But now, Clem is actually just dominating on supply. Like, he's up 30 army supply. Just seemingly out of nowhere.
There is still, like I was going to say, there's still like 20 supply in bank here for MaxPax. It's going to go into the main base. I'm not a massive fan of this. There is quite a few Hellions, and I don't think the frontal attack is quite going to be enough. Liberator is going to get sniped. 10 workers do go down. Oh, I was not a fan of this, but this panned out extremely well. That was a terrible call by me. Very, very good control by MaxPax, who... oh, look at the Phoenixes. If they would have gotten those Cyclones, they would have been massive. The 2 tanks in the main are going to die as well. There's no Hellions to protect them, I think.
Yeah, he gets one of them.
Brilliant.
Yep, and it's just going to be enough because he's still got units on the low ground as well. So MaxPax is going to come through and pick up the game to take us to game 4.
He's really good on capitalizing on small and on bigger errors, obviously. He's very good unit control. I don't know, I think he's really good at this in this type of situation. Way better than a lot of the other Terrans.
Alright, well here he is in the top right side of Oxide. Our blue Terran is Team Liquid's Clem.
Bottom left, spawning as the red Protoss player. It is Team Axon's MaxPax. You know, I don't actually like this wall that he's doing here. On this map, you can make a wall with gate cyber in such a way that the tech structure that you will build on your first pylon, if you want to do that, won't be able to be spotted if a Reaper goes on the high ground. The position in which he built the gateway now, I think actually is the correct one. Like, he could have just gone gateway and then cyber basically to the left right now, and then just put the pylon more to the bottom, more towards the nexus. They can actually hide your tech. So I think this is an error by him, the wall. He spotted that SCV, no? With the probe? Am I crazy?
I didn't quite see.
I think I'm crazy.
Think you crazy?
Yeah.
Well, he's not really reacting to it at all, so...
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, the engineering bay block's kind of nice if it just gets to full HP. I mean, now you bring the probe down to try and set up, and you're definitely ready to expand because he didn't have a probe in position to build the cyber core. He's going to build the nexus out to the left. I actually hate it when people do this. No offense to MaxPax, but like, I always just feel like you're just waiting for like some Hellions to show up and like run into this space, get lifted up by a medevac and jump into the main. Like, I feel like that's just impossible to defend. Unless
You need to play Stargate. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you open Phoenix and play Stargate. It's okay. So basically, the main idea is I think you need a pylon on the natural wall as well, and then you get a gateway next to it, so you can block it with a single stalker. You get adapt, send it to your third base, or well, your natural base, and you build a battery there. So early game 2 Hellions won't be able to do anything, and by the time they have medevacs, you should have 2 Phoenixes and like 3 gateway units. You get a battery in the main as well, just in case. And you're actually in an okay position. I don't completely mind it. Like, if the eBay is already done and you go down, like, I don't know, like, it's very difficult to do anything useful.
In fact, he's going to swap over to the reactor, and then he doesn't like it, so he's going to put the barracks back on the reactor and back to the tech lab. You think he's just going to start prepping with like Cyclone, Viking, etc. because he expects the Stargate?
Yeah, I don't mind that. I absolutely don't. You know, there's a really sick build. If they take the third base here, is to play a Thor. Like, you go, I think it's like mine drop into Thor. I think it's a build that cured it on, I want to say against Zest, maybe even in GSL. It was on Pillars of Gold, if that rings a bell to anyone. I want to say it was on that map. That build is really good if they take a third base away. But in general, Thors are really sick because Stargate is so bad against Thor openers. And I know this sounds ridiculous, but trust me, it's really not that bad. TOS needs to get like a crap ton of batteries and a lot of void rays. That would be the proper response. But you need very good scouting with that as well. MaxPax actually playing relatively unsafe, going for the straight Oracle. In case of like a 4 Hellion drop now, he would have been in trouble. But I guess with a double Stalker, he sees, okay, there's a bunch of Marines. Well, there was a bunch of Marines, now there's only 2 left. That's actually kind of scary here for Clem.
Yeah, he's got a Cyclone though. Fortunately for MaxPax, the low health Stalker doesn't get locked onto, so he gets away with 2 of them, and obviously he knows about the Cyclone as well. I mean, killing off the Marines really depowers anything you might want to pull across the map here. Clem's kind of chasing, he's actually going to get the lock on, and that's a dead Stalker. Nice catch.
Actually, if MaxPax turns around with the Stalker, with the Oracle, I think he gets the Cyclone, loses maybe 1 Stalker and gets 2 Marines as well. Instead, he's going to be going into the main base with the Oracle, he's going to be getting 4 or 5 workers. Cyclone does pop now in the main base here. MaxPax is quick enough for this though.
Yeah, he's going to pull it away, and at the same time he's defending on the other side, killing off some extra Marines with Stalkers here. So Clem is not able to break through on the left just yet. There's going to be seeing another Stalker kind of warping in with this. Cyclone uses a lock on a probe, and I'm just trying to find a position to make something happen, but not really much going down. As yeah, he's just going to have to back away. So MaxPax defends.
I mean, he has 3 Marines. Like, there's no DPS in this army whatsoever. A single Phoenix would completely mess this army up as well. Like, you lift the Cyclone, yeah, and then, I mean, there's no damage output whatsoever. There's a single Liberator heading towards the main base. I like that. Liberators don't care about batteries. It's like actually the only Terran unit that doesn't care about batteries, because it one-shots probes. Now, there's 2 Oracles heading towards the main base. What is there for Clem? There's absolutely nothing. There's going to be a Viking in 2 seconds from now, so I think 1 Oracle will die. He's targeting the wrong Oracle, though. Targeted the full HP Oracle. That's going to be 8-9 workers. Liberator in the main base at the same time. He's going to be getting 2-3 workers. Fast response here coming out of MaxPax. Only loses 5 workers. That's not too bad.
Yeah, he lost a little bit of a scuffle at the front of the base over here, though, and now the Cyclones and the Vikings showing up, so they get an extra worker or so too. So the worker trade-out's pretty even. The Cyclones logging on again. The Stalkers moved forward as though they wanted to get the Cyclone, and then they took some extra damage from it. Super Battery comes down. That will end this attack for the moment. And Clem will back off and give MaxPax some room.
Yeah, I think MaxPax must have thought that those Stalkers were in range of the battery. Otherwise, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now we have 41 workers against 34. There's no real tech for either player, right? We have barracks 2 and 3 going down for Clem just now, which is insanely late into the game. So stim and combat are not going to be done for another 2 minutes or so. MaxPax is just now starting Blink, has no forges. Third base, however, is done. And here comes Clem again with a little bit of a push. I mean, with this Void Rain, with this Stalker count, this should be fine, no?
Yeah, well, the Void Rain is going to die pretty quickly. Activate the Prismatic to start shooting at Marines. Obviously, the tank helps to zone the Stalkers a little bit, but these Marines have nothing on them. They're a bunch of them low HP as well. I mean, I kind of feel like you're right. Like, it shouldn't do much, but that's the pylon. Actually empowers the shield battery here. Yeah, I mean, there's a Phoenix on the way as well. Just really wants to deal with the help deal with the siege tank, I guess. Clem is going to back off. I like it if Clem gets away with all these units, which he is going to do. MaxPax's not going to chase, so
I think he should have.
Yeah, chased.
I think he should have chased.
Yeah, I think so too. Because there's nothing this army can do to fight that amount of Stalkers.
Yeah, true. You're just going to lose a tank, 4 or 5 Marines. Oracle died, by the way, in the main base during this. I think we missed that. There was a Viking still there. There was like a 1 HP Viking that shot it. I think it's being repaired right now. Yeah, 2 kills on it. I think both of those are Oracles. There's 1 Phoenix. There's no charge yet. Forge is relatively late. If you would have asked me a minute and a half ago, when I was looking at the stim timings, I was like, this looks okay for MaxPax, but MaxPax really hasn't progressed much into the game. His forges are late. His blink is just now about to finish, and you're not gonna get anything done with these Stalkers, realistically, right? There's enough Marauders. Like, you're gonna get 2-3 Marines. You're gonna grab a Viking. Good job. Like, actually, this is a lot more than I thought. And the calls are on point today. That's 5-6 Marines. Gonna get a mine as well.
Yeah, but he lost a lot of Stalkers, though.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't actually see how many he lost. Was it 3, 2?
No, he lost like 4 or 5.
Okay, well, in that case, that was a terrible trade.
Yeah, in that case, you can go back to being correct. No, we'll give you that
back to correct country over here. 5 extra gates being added. I was complaining about Clem's production earlier, but looking at MaxPax production, like, he's been on 3 gates this entire time, and it's not good. That's really not good. Charge halfway done. I feel like Clem could just push with 1-1 and pick up this game, right? I am having such a difficult time seeing how MaxPax is going to hold a 1-1 push. There's so many Marauders as well in this army. This is one of the things I notice. When you play against the very good Terrans, they magically seem to be able to chrono boost their Marauders. It's really crazy, because you watch a slightly lower level, like a 6.3, 6.4k Terran, it's like, it's like a lot of Marines in this army, like your first Colossi pops and you're having a blast. You play against Clem, and with his first 2 Medavacs, it's like he has 12 Marauders. Like, how does he do it? It's insane. Like, I feel like his tech labs only finished recently. He's just so keen on building those Marauders always. And this is one of the things I think we tend to forget as well, that Marauders actually trade extremely well against things that do splash. Talking about Colossus, even do pretty well against Archons. Be careful of that.
Well, that run by gets kind of met by units out the front. The Widowmines, I was kind of expecting them to burrow up a little bit sooner, but we'll get there in the end, and good trade from Clem is now MaxPax is chasing across the map to maybe try and make something happen, but he's against 1-1 upgrades. His own +1 about to finish, but I always feel without the armor upgrade, these Zealots are just kind of walking into a lot of trouble in these scenarios.
Yeah, definitely. And the problem as well is, right, that he doesn't have detection with this, so he needs to win the fight right away. If there's a second Widow Mine shot, no way, Jose, is he going to win. And Clem is chasing with Widow Mines, and if that's happening and you're the charge player, you know you're in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, when the Widow Mines are just actually just tagging along with your army as the Protoss, you're not having a good time. As now Stalkers are getting caught, and I'm just finding insane value as he chases across the map. He gets 3 Stalkers on the chase here, and obviously this is going to continue along into MaxPax's 4th base, which is off to this left-hand side, so he can't really protect this. I mean, now the Widow Mine's actually going to get to burrow up, so the Zealots are going to be struggling to do much. If you come in from the other side, and that will do a little bit, and the Archons get hit a little bit too, and the flank's actually pretty good here. Time to let himself get surrounded.
That was a beautiful engagement by MaxPax, really coming from 2 sides there, and that helps so much. If he's going to be able to clean up those mines, he might actually have some future in this game. I can't believe it. That was so well done. He needs to clean up those mines, though. If these mines don't get cleaned up, I mean...
And they fire again.
Yeah,
Captain Obvious. I understand your Starcraft 2 is extremely high. What can I say?
I mean, you're not wrong, though. You're not wrong. And they are gonna fire again. They're moving forward right now. A lot of matter of fact, low in energy. Still a high count. I love the Blink Stalker flank, except it doesn't quite work as well with Blink Stalkers as it does with Zealots. Clem just guides forward, picks up, is gonna drop into the main base. 8 Stalkers gonna get warped in, won't be in time, and Marauders are gonna make short work of that army.
Well, low ground super battery is gonna buy a bit of time, and he actually got 1 full medevac as he flew in, so
he lost a single Stalker.
Yeah,
that was insane. I really thought he was dead. I mean, the situation is still absolutely terrible, don't get me wrong. We have 2-2 on the way. MaxPax is still only on +1. There's 3 ghosts out, if my eyes don't lie. No, 2 ghosts. 2 goes out. There's still a decent mine count as well. What is it? 9 mines. Yeah, I mean, Zealots against mine ghost. Like, they just die. They just die extremely fast. But these mines, they maybe even shot 3 times already. You're not gonna believe it.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, if you leave them that long, they shoot again and again.
Double. tomorrow. All right. 4 base up here for Clem. I feel like he can just fight again.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 Archons, right? It's like the few Zealots are already hurting. Planetary Fortress is going to be tough to break. He doesn't even want to try and fight it, so he just backs away. Clem didn't even have to bring his army over, and MaxPax is just gone. He's out of there.
Yeah, he can't even fight a planetary. That's just a bit sad.
Yeah, EMP goes down, which hits all the Zealots in the front as well, so they're not going to have a good time. This is also now +2 attack versus 0 armor upgrades. Zealots are actually just may as well just not exist. They just die so quickly, especially when you get the EMPs down, you get through the shields quick. Nice little Zealot warp into the main, though. I mean, if you get back into this game, it's through something like this, right? Where you pull Clem apart and you can go different ways and you start killing a lot of workers, but he's not really killing a lot of workers. Clem just pulls back, deals with it responsibly, and, you know, still has a massive army on the map.
Win some time though, and he's gonna force out a bunch of turrets, or at least 1 extra turret. Mine stays at home. I think at this point you start straight with disruptors, right? Like, there's no way you're gonna win by building 2 colossi. Yeah, disruptor is definitely the correct call. I'm a big fan of that. A lot of tossers would still be like, you know, it's kind of a habit to build colossi first, you know, 2-3 colossi, but absolutely the correct call here to go straight into those disruptors. Way better in this situation. Even though I still think it's a completely hopeless situation, that's a good call. We have Clem moving forward. Nexus cancel here by MaxPax. 5th base dies. I like the toughness that MaxPax has though. He tends to stay in games and manage to kind of survive. It's not easy to do it against someone like Clem. Good disruptor shots as well, those 2.
Yeah, good start, but now you just run into the natural, right?
I think he could, but Clem actually wants to fight out in the open, gets insane EMPs. All of the Archons go down, all of the Zealots go down as well, and yeah, there's nothing left here. There's not much left. Not much left
at all. Bio Army's going to turn around, run back up to the natural, and obviously now he just doesn't have to fight into Disruptors. He forces the Disruptors to find him. He blinks into Widow Mines, which, by the way, got to fire again because they were kept alive, and that's going to be GG. Clem takes a 3-1 victory. He will continue his campaign in the winner bracket of the OSC Championship.